There's nothing more mysterious, terrifying and sexy than a vampire, and vampire movies have come in all types: horror, comedy, teen romance. The vampire movie has been a staple of cinema for over 100 years, and we are here to count down our top 10. But first, here's Neil with 10 fantastic facts.
1.
Thank you very much, Pav. So a group of vampires has variously been called a clutch, brood, coven, pack, or a clan.
2.
The Muppet vampire Count Von Count from Sesame Street is based on an actual vampire myth. One way to supposedly deter a vampire is to throw seeds, usually mustard, outside a door or place with a fishing net outside the window. Vampires are then compelled to count the seeds or the holes in the net, delaying them until the sun comes up.
3.
Now, one of the earliest accounts of vampires is found in the ancient Sumerian and Babylonian myth dating to 4000 BC, which describes, right, I'm going to try and pronounce this right, Ekimu or Edimu, sounds like shooting stars, one who is snatched away. The Ekimu is a type of Uruku or Utaku, a spirit or demon who was not buried properly and has returned as a vengeful spirit to suck the life out of the living. Umami. Nosferatu is considered the first vampire movie in 1922 and was involved in a lawsuit with the Bram Stoker estate.
5.
But some argue that The Secret in the House No. 5 from 1912 is the first vampire movie.
6.
Bram Stoker's Dracula, printed in 1897, remains an enduring influence on all vampire mythology and has never ever gone out of print.
7.
Twilight Breaking Dawn Part 2 is the most successful vampire movie, making $1.1 billion at the box office.
8.
In Empire magazine's poll for the greatest ever vampire movie, Lost Boys came top.
9.
Dracula has appeared in just short of 300 movies, making him the most often portrayed character in film, just ahead of the iconic detective Sherlock Holmes.
10.
And some might argue that the best version of Dracula is actor Christopher Lee. Lee has been cast 11 times in the role.
Well, there you go. Thank you very much, Count Neil.
Always a pleasure. Ha, ha, ha.
Blah, blah. Welcome to Top 10 Vampire Movies. Now, I got a confession to make.
Okay.
As Dave Grohl once cited. I realised after doing my top 10 that I don't like vampire movies that much.
Really? You haven't watched the right ones, Pat.
Well, this is it. If I tell you that my number 10 is Dracula Dead and Loving It, I think that shows you...
Right, I'm off.
Are we going into Tim Downey territory here?
Yeah.
Shining?
No, it's like we've always said, it's your choice. There is no wrong answer.
No,
so
that is true, but I do feel I was looking at as I do, I'll write my list and then I'll look on IMDb and places like that. And I realised that, I mean, even the classic Christopher Lee movie, I know that I've watched it, but I watched it when I was very young, and that's what made me frightened of Christopher Lee.
Yeah, as I was.
Always frightened, whether it was in The Man with the Golden Gun or anything I saw Christopher Lee in, he was Dracula. And I can remember being, 8 or 9 years old, and it must have been on TV. It was Hammer House of Horror or something, one of those Hammer movies. And it frightened the shit out of me. And the whole concept of vampires is the thing that I hate the most. I think it's that feeling of someone biting your neck and...
I think you don't like being sucked off, then.
Not my neck, no.
Oh, right.
And then drinking my blood and all that kind of stuff. It's always a concept that always made me feel really uneasy, and which I know it's what it's supposed to do, isn't it? And so I know that we are going to have, you're going to have a lot of movies that I have probably never seen.
You might have done. You might have just forgotten, though. Maybe.
Which in case, let's do this.
Lisa's challenge.
What the fuck are you saying?
Blah, blah. So how many do you think we're going to have the same, Neil?
2. Ha,
Two?
Ha, ha. Yeah, I think there'll be 2 in there.
Okay, I'm going to go 4.
Okay.
I see. 1,
There
2,
might be.
3,
I mean,
4. No, I'm going to say 5. I think we're
okay.
going to have 5 the same.
Okay, that's a good shout if we
I think
do.
we're going to have, and again, it's going to be what you class as a vampire movie. I've got 1 in here that I think, well, 2 in here that I think you may not class as a vampire movie.
Yeah, there's some that I am denied about. We might be able to. I will talk about it.
But
there was a couple that I thought about putting into my list, and I thought, no, I'm not going to, because it's been so long since I've seen them, and I just didn't get a chance to rewatch them. I should have done, really, but and then I thought,
from what you were saying earlier on, is like if that's what you class as a vampire movie, then that is right. For
there's no wrong answer. Eh?
No. But
not unless you went Carry On Camping as my favourite vampire.
I was trying to think whether there was a vampire in Carry On Screaming, but they're not.
There's
like
not. No,
and
it's
a
just
mummy
the
and
mummy,
Lurch and
Dr.
Jekyll and Mr. Hyde kind of thing.
Exactly.
In there, so I couldn't really. I mean, although the woman in it is a bit of a vamp character, isn't she?
Yeah,
she's not actually. So I couldn't squeeze a Carry On film in there, unfortunately. But where do you stand on vampire movies when it comes to like your favourite genres of horror?
I don't mind a good vampire story, but because everything seems to have been done, I don't think I've seen. Nothing in my list is earlier than 11 years ago. That's the most recent vampire movie that I've got.
Okay.
So I'm not.
What year was Dracula Dead and Loving It? I can't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember when that was. Yeah, that's got to have been late in the 90s, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it's a genre I don't mind. It's like the werewolf movie. If it's done well, I enjoy it. If it's done bad, then it's really bad. There's just no getting away from it. But it's not my favourite. I like the psychological horror, the Martyrs and the Exorcist. I love all that sort of thing. You got to be thinking about horror film for a long time ahead. And there's a couple in my list of vampire movies that did make me think, and I still do. I still think one of them has got some of the best scenes, and it's not even an old movie. It's got some of the best scenes, and I think I couldn't stop thinking about it afterwards. But we'll go into that.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Just to let you know, I did turn our friend Joe Elvin, into Martyrs. I was explaining it to her, and she said she was going to try it, and then she realised she found out that her daughter had actually already seen it. So I need to get back in touch with Joe to find out whether she's seen it and what she thought of it, because I didn't tell her much about it.
Good.
I did just say to her that it's one of those kind of movies where the end is going to make you wonder what is going on, and
question everything.
Just question absolutely everything. Okay then, Neil, kick us off with your number 10.
So 1922, Nosferatu, the original. I bought this. I still buy Blu-rays, as you know. I bought this not so long ago, remastered. 4K remastered or whatever it was, and everything with all the documentaries. I think this is still such a chilling film, even for its time. It's silent, and we all know there's been the remake.
Is it silent but deadly?
It's silent and deadly.
Is it?
Yeah,
the worst.
But I haven't watched the remake yet. It's big on my list, but I don't go to the cinema very often now because I don't know why. Just one of those things that happens. So I haven't watched the remake, but the original. There's scenes that have been replicated throughout history in horror films. The atmosphere. There's a sinister undertone when you watch it, even to this day. And then if you watch other films like Shadow of the Vampire with William Dafoe, where he plays that Shrek bloke, Max Shrek, who played Nosferatu himself. It makes folklore out of the movie, and it becomes even more fascinating. But have you ever seen the full Nosferatu?
I've only ever seen clips of it, and again,
obviously coming up the stairs.
Yeah, it is really, really scary. I think because it's black and white and it's grainy.
There's no talking.
No, it looks horrific. I think that's also the same as like the new one. The new one, I mean, I saw one picture of. It's the guy that plays
Bill Skarsgård.
Yeah, Bill Skarsgård, the guy that plays Pennywise. That plays.
Yeah, and he's unrecognisable as well, isn't he?
Really, because I've just seen one sort of. I can't really remember it, but it's a chilling image, without a doubt. Yeah,
and haunting.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a movie that influenced not just horror. It's influenced, you know, it's influenced cinema from the get-go. The way things are shot, the way things are done. I mean, I would recommend anybody with an interest in film or really do love watching film, if they've never seen it, need to get and watch it, and you'll see where the genesis of movie makings come from and everything. You know, as in effects and certain things. I mean, there's other movies that we can talk about, like the original Ben-Hur, Birth of a Nation, which is very problematic, and all of those, and they obviously very much shows you how the birth of cinema. But this has got shots that are still replicated today, and yeah, I think anybody that's into horror should really, or even just cinema, should take a time out and watch that.
I take it it's not on any sort of streaming services.
No, I believe they showed it when the remake came out on either 4 or BBC 2 or BBC 4 or something like that. But I didn't watch it because, yeah, because the documentaries on the 4K restoration thing that I bought is superb. There's some fascinating things. So I really do want to watch the remake, because a lot of friends of mine did see it at the cinema that a big movie goes, so they like shocked that I never went to see it, and they just said you're going to love it if you've watched Robert Eggers' other films. Like, I think The Witch is such a good movie. It's probably still my favourite of his. But then, you know, and you watch it and you think how stylized that guy is.
Well, The Lighthouse is one of those, isn't it?
It's great.
I mean, that's a great movie.
Batshit fucking bonkers movie.
So good.
I've still
not watched The Witch.
Do you not?
No, I've still not watched it. And was it The Northman? Was it one of
The
his?
Northman. It's
Northman.
okay, The Northman. It's okay. It sets out and it does what it says, and there's some great action shots. And when you see the making of, if you ever get a chance to watch that, there's some very interesting how they do it. But it's a cold movie. Does that make sense? It makes you feel cold when you watch it. I don't know why. But you're not going to be going, yeah, kick ass. It's not that sort of thing.
Right.
Of Vikings. It's brutal. Very
his movies aren't what you call. They don't move fast.
No, but they're also sort of grounded in some sort of reality, aren't they? They don't over extenuate anything. I know you can argue The Lighthouse, but that's a hallucinogenic sort of piece anyway, isn't it? It's all about being that trapped in. It's all about the loneliness of the two and the lighthouse. And
to be fair, I mean, like I say, I've not seen any of his other films, but that one, you could take a still from any scene in that, and it looks amazing.
Looks like a painting.
Looks like a work of art.
Yeah,
it looks like a work of art.
Yeah, I admire him loads. So yeah, Nosferatu, and when somebody like Mark Kermode, who I really respect, is not on everything, but on his opinions of horror films, and he said how good that is. Even though I'm a bit unsure whether Lily Rose Depp is actually a good actress. Yeah.
Well,
but
I'm gonna, when she said,
but that was hard to tell there. But she was. I thought I'll give that Idol a go when it came on. You know, the weekend. Well, I watched 2 episodes, and 2 episodes is where it stayed, and I deleted it. It's fucking awful. The acting, but The Weeknd, how he ever thinks he's ever going to make another movie if he can't act.
Right.
He literally, me and you, Pav, years ago when we did that sketch about the 2 cops, we were a lot better actors than The Weeknd. Yeah.
God, that's
a lot better.
That is.
The bloke was dreadful in that series, but so was she. She just seemed to have no. But we'll see. She might be fantastic in Nosferatu. But yeah, definitely a must be in my top 10. I'll put it at number 10 because.
Okay.
Not the one I watched the most.
And to sort of back that up, really, I mean, you got something like Nosferatu, black and white. You know, it's very atmospheric, and you know, it's a filmmaker at the top of his game.
Yeah.
And so my number 10 is Dracula, Dead and Loving It.
Do you know what? I mock, Pav. I mock, but I've never seen it. Not all the way through. I've seen clips. I've only
ever seen it once. Right. Now the one thing with the Mel Brooks movie is it can be. I mean, he's made some of the greatest comedies ever. You know,
I sat and watched The Producers the other night. It was on telly, and I sat and watched it. Forgotten how great that film is.
And Blazing Saddles, for all of its, you know, it's 70s ish and 80s ish of it. You know, the time of it, it is one of the funniest movies, without a shadow of a doubt.
And still has a great message to send nowadays.
Yeah. And also Leslie Nielsen has made some of the greatest comedies, but he's also made some, real bad stuff.
Yeah.
But the one thing about a Mel Brooks movie is that you're guaranteed that you'll have. I mean, look, it's a 90-minute movie, so you probably want more than 5 laughs in a comedy. But there are still bits that will make you chuckle, and it's simple comedy. Someone getting stood on, numerous times, or it's Dracula as a bat comes flying through the window, and the woman closes the window just before he gets there, and he bangs his head on the window. It's stupid stuff like that. I've only seen it once, and that's why I was saying is that the reason it's number 10 because I couldn't find any other movies that I could put in there to make a 10.
Right,
because there are a lot of classic, and everybody knows me. The fact that I don't watch everything, I don't listen to everything. There are certain movies that I should have watched, that isn't in my top 10. That I realised, even talking to Azzy at work, he was telling me, "Oh, have you seen this movie?" I went, "No." "Have you seen this one? This is a great one." "No, I haven't seen that one." So I feel like, again, you let people down by not seeing these movies. But I love Mel Brooks. I love Leslie Nielsen. So putting them together, I can remember laughing at this movie. So I'm going to put it in there as my number 10.
Well, good for you. And yes, I'm power to power.
God, it's like
I'm not going to knock
like
it.
the Breakfast Club there.
Yeah.
Don't you forget about me then, just as you did that.
Yeah.
Go on then, you're number 9 then, Neil.
So it's talking to Nosferatu, which was basic rip-off of Bram Stoker's Dracula. I'm doing Dracula, the 1932, Bela Lugosi. Now, again, if anybody knows me, I'm a big fan of the Universal Monsters, the original movies. The Creature from the Black Lagoon, Frankenstein, all of them. I bought the box set because I needed to own all of them. This is a great. I mean, obviously, some of the effects are a bit ropey. The bat effect in it's ropey, but it is of its time.
Well, at the time, it wouldn't have been, would it? At the time, it would have been.
No. I tried to show my children it years ago when I got the DVD through. They enjoyed the story. They found some of Bela Lugosi a bit laughable, but I said, but that was the point. It was all ham back then. When you go back and see a lot of these films, there's there was a bloke that used to act in the 30s called Todd Slaughter, and he would do like a Sweeney Todd film, but he was very much almost like restoration comedy where everything was like. And his style of acting, but it is of its time, but good fun. Same with Bela Lugosi in it. I mean, we don't need to go through the story. Everybody should know that
but
story.
Don't you think that the reason that people would maybe push their nose up at it is because it's now, well, you're looking at, what is it, nearly 100 years since that movie came out, and it's been pastiched and it's been taken the piss out of, and every if you look at, say, comedy people that do a skit about Dracula, it'll mainly be the Bela Lugosi Dracula that they're taking the piss out of.
And absolutely, and it probably is that. But to me, it's a movie that has stood the test of time. It's great filmmaking. It's Todd Browning, isn't it? Who did, who's still done one of my favourite horror films. Well, don't know whether ever to put it in horror. It's Freaks. We've talked about it many times.
We have. Yeah.
But this version, I just think the gothicness of it is fantastic. I think. I enjoy Bela Lugosi's Dracula. I really do. I think it's a great cinema Dracula. And like you said, it's we're using the word. It's an iconic version of Dracula. People, they've just built a Universal Monsters ride or park, haven't they? In there, and they've got it all there.
Epic Universe. It has its own monsters.
That's
land
right.
in there, and
apparently they're roaming when you get in there. You meet the Invisible Man, etc., and everything like that.
Yeah.
But if you're not a fan of Universal Monsters Universe, the original, I would say, and you've never seen them, go and watch some of them. Especially if you want to go a bit more sort of not so 1930s, early 40s, go and watch The Creature from the Black Lagoon, which is probably one of the last ones. It's a great story. It really is.
Frankenstein is one of those great stories as well.
Timeless, that one.
With Boris Karloff.
Yeah.
And it's like it when you see it and it's been done again and again and again, it's the same story and it might have great special effects. But I don't I can't remember when I saw that not long ago, and it struck me just how fresh it felt.
Yeah.
Even
and
though it's
sad.
like, what year was that? 19. That must have been
32, is it?
something
No,
like
that was it was around that time. It was in the 30s, so I think it was 30 earlier in the 30s. But talking of Dracula, talking of Frankenstein, there's a great bar in Edinburgh, little nod, called the Frankenstein's Bar, and then they constantly have the original Frankenstein movie on a loop. It's all
right.
based on his laboratory.
Right.
And then every sort of, I don't know how long it takes, but every sort of hour, let's say once an hour, Frankenstein comes down into the middle of the bar, all the lightning goes off, and you hear, "It's alive!"
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's really good fun, and they do Frankenstein themed cocktails. We really enjoyed it there. But I literally said they should do a Dracula version from the Bela Lugosi Dracula as well. Be really good,
I
really
wouldn't
good.
go to that. Oh, that just. But I know that, because obviously being a bit of a Disney and a Orlando sort of lover of stuff.
Yeah.
I watched a lot of the videos, and one of the bars or one of the restaurants in the Monsters Universe part, they have like red drink that looks like blood.
Oh, nice.
And it's that again, it has that same kind of thing where it looks like there's lightning and stuff going on. And every so often, there's a windmill that catches fire, which is like from the Frankenstein things.
Oh, I must go. I must do the Universal Studios.
You have
in
to.
Orlando.
You have to. It's amazing. Okay, so that's your number 9 then. My number 9, again, this isn't really a vampire movie, but it has Dracula in it. And I'm going to go for Van Helsing.
Oh, okay, the Hugh
Jackman movie, which is a bit sort of like Indiana Jones meets, and and Van Helsing is this good-looking, swashbuckling guy that, spoilers, I think if I remember correctly, is a werewolf in real life. He has a fight with Dracula at the end of it. It's a good romp.
It is, and I enjoyed it. CGI is dated badly in it.
Yeah, but it's got Kate Beckinsale in it, so I mean, who doesn't like looking at Kate Beckinsale? And it's got a lot of the classic monsters in there, and it's just it's a good, like I say, it's that kind of it's Indiana Jones meets the Universal Monsters thing, where Hugh Jackman has got a wonderful hat and he's got all these gadgets, and it's Indiana Jones stroke James Bond going out and killing different monsters and trying to catch them. Everybody knows I love Hugh Jackman. I think he's great. And he always seems to be great in everything, and he does a lot of different stuff. But this was one of his swashbuckling kind of movies. In no way that you would say it's a classic vampire movie, but Dracula's in it. So Richard Roxburgh. Yeah.
I quite enjoyed it when I said. I remember seeing that at the cinema, and I really enjoyed it. And it was always that thing where Dracula is prime for a kid's adventure. It really is. He's the sort of villain that a kid could sort out at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So, but great fun. I don't disagree. I think that's a great fun movie.
Bit of vampire lore, because I don't know whether you're an expert, but so what's the difference between like being a vampire, right, and then taking some blood off of someone because you need to feed?
Yeah.
But that would kill the person. Does that person then become a vampire, or is there something that you do to make someone a vampire?
Well, I always understood, and I'll go from Anne Rice, the way she described it, was that if you drank the blood of somebody, you didn't automatically kill them. They could become what they call your sort of familiar.
Right.
A bit like Renfield in Dracula.
Yeah.
So, he wants to become a vampire, but you can feed on me till you do. That's always been around in the legends. And I think the idea is that if you were to become a vampire, you would have to drink his blood.
Right. Okay. So they have to drink from the host.
The host, yeah. So you could, if you were a vampire, let's say, you could drink off me as much as you wanted, but until I drank your blood, I wouldn't turn. But you'd have to be careful not to suck me dry.
Not for the first time, eh, Neil? Okay, then. Your number 8, please, Neil.
So this is 30 Days of Night, 2009. I don't know whether you've ever seen this.
I have, yeah.
It
was
Slade
close to
movie.
being in my top 10, but again, this is where it makes it ridiculous in the fact that I haven't put this one in. I've got Dracula Dead and loving it. So
hey, and I know people that really don't like this movie because it's a lot of movie about hiding.
Yeah.
But I like that in
Yeah.
this because obviously the premise, if you've never seen it, Josh Hartnett, Melissa George, they're in Alaska or wherever it is where it goes dark for 30 days and the vampires turn up to feed on the town. They then have to basically hide and it goes batshit crazy. And if you know David Slade's movies, you'll know that he's not frightened to pull punches where other people don't. Think Hard Candy and other things like that. So it's a really good movie, but I like the fact that, I don't know, I got really in with them. When I saw it at the cinema, I can remember seeing it when they're hiding in these lofts and trying to get from house to house and not be found. Really tense, and I was with them. And so that's what I enjoy, is the tension in that movie. I forget the name of the guy who is the bad guy, but we'd all
Danny Houston.
Danny Houston, that's it. He's makes such a great head villain in that as well, and they look fucking mean, the vampires as well in it. If anybody's never seen it, give it a go. It's really good fun, and I highly recommend it because I think it's up there as one of the greater vampire movies. I nearly said Batman movies. Vampire bats,
But it is like I mean, it literally a dark movie, isn't it?
it is. It's all in night.
all
It's
at night
all
time,
at night.
yeah.
There is no daylight in this. There's no reprieve.
No.
Once they come, you've got to survive 30 days in pitch darkness. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's a great premise. Josh Hartnett, I think, it's sad that he disappeared and has come back. I really think he's got great screen charisma. I watched recently that Fight or Flight, the Sky movie.
Oh right, yeah.
And if you've not seen it and you want pure adrenaline-filled bonkers shit, watch that movie because I thoroughly enjoyed
Did
it.
you?
And I've recommended it to other people now, and they've watched it and they said, "Holy fuck! How did
Yeah.
that not get to the cinema?"
Yeah, he was
It's
good in Oppenheimer.
bonkers.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's great in Oppenheimer.
The M Night Shyamalan one that he did.
Prey, is it? No, Stay, or I can't. Or
No,
I
it's
can't
one where
remember.
he's in a pop concert, isn't
That's
he?
it, and they lock him in, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
A serial killer.
serial killer. Spoilers.
But The Faculty, when he was young, and Halloween H2O, when he did those right as a youngster, he had a lot of charisma. And
But
I
he was
think
like
still
one of
do.
those ones that were going to be the next big thing, wasn't he? And he's kind of had his little moment, a bit like who was the guy that was in Thingy from Mars? Oh Christ!
Yeah, Thingy from Mars.
No, what was that? There was the big movie that was like a John Carter from Mars.
John Carter, yeah, which
What was
I
it?
actually think is a good movie.
What was the guy that was the star of that?
Oh yeah, he was supposed to be the next big thing, wasn't he? Even I've forgotten his name.
Taylor Kitsch.
That's
Taylor
it.
Kitsch
He
was another one
appears
that was like that.
occasionally here and there.
Yeah, and he because he was in that American Primeval.
That's right, he was. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's your number 8. My number 8, now this is probably should be a little bit higher, but I'm going to go at number 8 for Interview with a Vampire.
Well, that's my number 3.
I thought it would be a bit higher for you.
Yeah, I think that's a great movie. I know
No.
everybody said it was problematic.
Yeah,
but
I remember the furore there was when they said that Tom Cruise was Lestat, and that somebody had caught I think the Sun had a picture like taken on the quiet of him with his blonde hair, and everybody was like up in arms saying, "Oh no, why is it Tom Cruise?" But well, I mean, what a cast to start with.
a great
Oh my
cast.
God,
because
Brad Pitt,
Yeah.
Antonio Banderas. It was just
the first movie of Kirsten Dunst.
Kirsten Dunst. That's right. As
And
a
what
little,
a great performance she gave in that.
Yeah.
Oh, dear. But I don't know. I think Tom Cruise makes a great villain.
Yeah,
I genuinely do.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
he's
yeah.
so fucking nasty in that film.
yeah. Christian Slater as well. I forgot.
Yeah, because that was supposed to be River Phoenix, of course, wasn't
That's
it?
right. Of course. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just think it's a great film. Neil Jordan's always been a great director anyway, hasn't he? I think I've pretty much loved all of his films, but I don't know. I think that I've read the books and I understand there's bits they didn't put in, but you can't put everything in a book in a 2-hour movie. You just can't.
I mean,
And
I was going to say, where do you stand on this, the Harry Potter TV show?
hey, I'm willing to give it a go. Really
Seen
am, because
who they've cast now?
they've got
So Nick Frost is
Frost
gonna
is,
be, Hagrid.
Hagrid. They got what's his name, Lithgow. John Lithgow
John
is
Lithgow. Yeah.
Dumbledore, which I think's perfect casting.
It is.
Genuinely.
If he can stay alive long enough to do
Yeah.
all 9 books or whatever it is.
Well, they're doing it as a TV series, aren't they? And J.K. Rowling's doing it herself, isn't she? A lot of the script. So I'm here for it because I think watching them not so long ago, the first one has dated dreadfully.
It has, but
And
what I
it's
don't understand is what are they going to? Because Hogwarts, just the look of that is so iconic,
it is.
and the music is so iconic. Surely they can't. I can't see how they can reimagine that. But you know,
We'll give it. I don't know. I'm intrigued. I'm not against it. Let's put it
No.
that way. I'm not like some people. You don't need to read. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah.
no, go for it. It's her property. If she wants to have it done again,
Absolutely. Well, if she
Yeah.
wants to make more money, then that's fine.
and I'm
but-
all for it for her to make more money.
Yeah, but in regards to Interview with a Vampire, it's everything about a vampire movie. That it's sexy. It's dark. It's scary.
And it is uncomfortable again. That bit with
Uncomfortable.
Antonio Banderas at the Circus of Vampires,
Yes.
where they bring that girl out and derobe her.
Yeah.
All right, you might think that's titillation, but what happens to her afterwards, if you've not seen this, is proper uncomfortable viewing.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Mm.
And I think that's the thing with a good vampire movie is it should make you feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, especially
You know.
that, which it brings sort of some humanity to the stories. You know, when you hear about how Brad Pitt got to see the sunrise on the cinema screen and all of that, I find that absolutely intriguing.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah.
But don't bother with the sequel, Queen of the Damned.
No,
it's
I remember
dreadful.
watching about 15, 20 minutes of that and turned it off.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah,
dreadful.
it was just not
I haven't watched the TV series of Interview with the Vampire. 'Cause there is
my
one.
wife did and said it was good.
Yeah.
I tend to not. I can't get into TV series with a lot of the time.
No, I've got such a list that I just let things go by.
Mm.
You know, and some things that I do really want to watch, and you think, and then it gets really disappointing going back to The Exorcist, and The Exorcist, that new movie. I was same as you, about 20 minutes, and I thought, I can't do this. This is fucking dog shite.
Yeah, that's
and
the
that's
trouble.
turn it off.
Yeah, well, that's the trouble is that you want to set time to watch these things, and again, I mean, we watched I think two episodes of that Kevin Bacon, The Bondsman.
Oh, what, the Bondsman?
And have you watched it?
No, not yet.
And I was expecting, maybe wrongly, but I was expecting it to be like an Evil Dead Ash kind of thing.
Exactly what I thought when I saw the trailer, which is a great thing.
And I don't think it really knows what it wants to do. Whether it wants to
Right.
be like an all-out comedy, tongue-in-cheek thing, and some of it is like too serious. And it really, after maybe 2 or 3 episodes of it, doesn't gel with me. Then
Yeah, you've got
there's
to
too
give
many
up.
other things to watch. So
Yeah, because I mean, yeah, I've just started Daredevil, and I'm hoping I hope that stays as strong as it started.
I've watched the last episode today, and it's a little bit up and down. You can see the joins in where they had to like stop it and remake it and redo things.
Okay,
With a couple of like filler episodes and stuff like that. But overall,
great.
7.5, 8 out of 10. I'd give
I
it.
will keep on it. Then.
Yeah. Okay, so that was my number 8. So you're number 7 then, Neil.
Yep. Okay, it's the original Fright Night from 1985. Roddy McDowall, Chris Sarandon. The vampire moves in next door to you. Nobody believes that you. So you've got your favorite icon horror host, and you ask him to come and investigate. And they eventually does get around, and he thinks it's all a hoax, but then suddenly realizes, oh shit, it really is a vampire, and it all goes batshit crazy. And at the end, they've both got to try and defeat him. Chris Sarandon makes a great vampire. It's also got that Jeffrey. Who was a really good actor, famously left and went into gay hardcore porn.
Who's that?
Oh, Jeffrey, you'd recognise him. He was going to be the big thing, and nobody quite knows why he did what he did.
I can't see a Jeffrey in the.
Is it Jeffrey? Or maybe it's not Jeffrey.
William Ragsdale.
No, he's the main
Roddy
bloke.
McDowall, Stephen Jeffries.
Stephen Jeffries, that's him.
Stephen Jeffries.
Not
Evil
Jeffrey.
Ed.
Yeah.
It says here that Christopher Lee as Dracula is in this as well.
Only on the telly.
Ah, right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never seen it.
So Roddy McDowall's a late night horror host. He's a vampire hunter, and he hosts these things on late night TV. The young lad is a great fan of his and writes to him when he realizes he's got a vampire next door. But it's great fun, especially I would say the last half an hour is absolutely bonkers but fun.
Is it?
Tom Holland directed it, not that one.
I was gonna say you'd have to be like
Yeah, the original
still
Tom
in his
Holland.
dad's ball bag. I was saying.
Yeah. But if you've never seen it, don't worry about the Colin Farrell and whoever else was in it, David Tennant. It's
The remake?
Yeah, it's not great. They just have none of the charm of what Roddy McDowall brought to that. He was so
and there
good.
was a sequel as well, Fright Night Part 2.
Yeah, which again isn't very good. They go to a bowling alley. That's the one with the famous scene that somebody's head comes out when it rolls back down and out the chute to bowl. It has some great jokes, but it's not worth the money it's written on. But no, the 1985 version, and I've seen that not so long ago because it was on the Sky Cinema or whatever, and I thought, wow, it still holds up to me. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to give that one a watch, I think.
Yeah, I would recommend that one.
That's your number 7. My number 7, I'm going for one that was remade, and the remake wasn't that bad if I remember it correctly. But I'm going for Let the Right One In.
Oh, that's my number 4. Yeah, the original 2008.
Yeah,
that's the one that I was saying. There's just got moments that you can't get out your bloody head.
And the thing is, again, I don't mind watching movies that are either subtitled or anything like that. That was one of those movies, a little bit like Old Boy.
Yeah,
I think you'd said to me, you need to watch Let the Right One In, and I watched it, and I think within sort of 15, 20 minutes, I thought I'm gonna like this. This for some reason was like right in my groove. The remake, Chloe Grace
and it's
Moretz
okay.
It's okay, but it's again.
They're not brave enough to be like the Scandinavian version, which is just proper. There's a shocking moment in it where you're like, holy shit.
Yeah, and it's those are the kind of moments that I wouldn't want to say it, because if somebody hasn't seen it, same with Old Boy. The hand over the mouth moment in Old Boy is one of those moments that I wouldn't want to ruin for anybody. So Let the Right One In is another one of those ones. It's one of those movies that again is sweet and heartbreaking, but vicious and cruel and dark and bloody and just horrible. But it's a great piece of work.
It really is. And
great acting in it as well.
And the two young leads are just so mesmerizing, and it's quite sweet as well. Yeah, their friendship and everything and how it works. But anybody that's not seen it and they're a fan of a good horror film, chuck that one. Yeah, put that one in. You'll enjoy it.
Thoroughly
and don't tell me you can't do subtitles.
All right, well, that's 2. We've got 2 the same so far. That's not bad. So give us your number 6 then, Neil.
So what we do in the shadows?
That's my number 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I was a bit late to the party watching this movie. I knew about it. I'd always wanted to see it, but being where we live, we don't always get movies like that to the cinema. And back then, that didn't really come to the cinema, or not. Oh, excuse me, not long enough.
And we've only just got electricity as well.
Yeah, we have. Internet? What the bloody hell was that? But when I did finally see it, belly laughs. Proper belly laughs. Just about. It's like a documentary, isn't it? And they're filming the vampires, and there's each vampires from different generations that live in a house. That's all I'm going to say. And it's fantastic. But then once you've watched the movie, you'll realise how much you enjoy that. You can then sit and watch the TV series and have great fun watching that, which I need to start again from the beginning because I've forgotten too much of the TV series.
Yeah, I've just finished the first season.
It's funny, isn't it?
It is so good.
I'm surprised you only just started watching the TV series with Matt Berry in it.
Yeah, even my son says, "Dad, you've got to start watching it, or get all of it watched because it is so funny." Obviously Matt Berry, but the fact that the movie, Taika Waititi, Jermaine Clement, and the thing is, I don't know, are they playing the same characters in the TV show? I don't know if they are they?
I can't really remember. It's been a while. I can't remember what they're called now. That's the problem. Watch so many bloody TV shows, don't we? We're just moaning about that.
Yeah. So they're not. No.
Okay.
But it's there's just so many. It's just, I mean, I love that format anyway. I love that it lends to some great comedy when you do the mockumentary with,
If you can do it
The
well.
Office or Parks and Rec. Yeah, if it's done well. And What We Do in the Shadows is definitely one of those ones. That's why it was so high up in my.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's a proper belly laughs. But talking of mockumentaries, I'm worried about the second Spinal Tap. I hope it's going to be fantastic because they got a high bar to reach.
A very high bar. I mean, I think it's the humor in that is going to be funny with the fact they're going to be like 70-year-old rockers.
Yeah,
and they can't do what they were doing before. But I've kind of got faith in them because.
I mean, Best in Show was really funny.
Yeah,
the one what was the Whistle Down the Wind? Was it called the one where they played the folk singers? Was really funny.
Oh, A Mighty Wind.
A Mighty Wind.
A Mighty Wind.
That's right.
But yeah,
and that was really funny.
They're saying that there's supposed to be a trailer coming soon, isn't there, for that?
Yeah, they dropped the teaser, turning it up to 11.
Oh,
I just hope they don't do. Yeah, they did a teaser. You just see the amp with 11.
Oh,
on
right.
It. Yeah.
Okay.
I just hope they don't keep using the same jokes.
No.
You can use the same joke and age appropriate, but don't rely on it the whole way, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, fingers crossed for that.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was your number 6. My number 6 now, again, is this a vampire movie? Would you class the monsters in this as vampires? Let's see what you think. I'm going for I Am Legend at number 6. Now,
I think it can be argued either way.
I think
so
because
I'll go
they only come out at night time, don't they? They don't. The sun will kill them. I don't think technically, if you go to the Vampire Handbook, they are technically vampires because they're just infected.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go for that.
I'll let you have it.
Thank you very much, Neil.
I will, and I'll fight anyone that says
otherwise
no.
I'd have to just start doing my top 10 all over again.
Yeah.
But it's I think it's a great movie. I
do as
prefer
well.
the bleaker end.
Yeah, well, it was closer to the book.
Yeah. That was the thing. Now I remember, and as you know, I am not a massive reader. And it's not a massive book, to be fair.
No,
it's more of a
big
pamphlet, isn't
yeah.
it? But I remember watching it, reading the book, and thinking to myself, why didn't they just do this storyline?
Yeah.
Do we spoil it or not spoil it? Well, the fact that he is the legend in the end.
I mean, most people should know it by now. If you go by the Charlton Heston version, what do they call that? Yeah. That's just, I mean, that's okay in itself, but again, they were too scared.
And wasn't there a Vincent Price one as well?
Omega Man, wasn't it?
That was Charlton Heston's one.
Yeah, that's the Charlton Heston one.
I'm the Omega Man.
But no, I think I Am Legend. The only thing I wish they hadn't done is made the vampires, I'm going to call them that, infected for everybody else. They shouldn't have done them CGI.
Yeah.
They should,
because that kind of CG is the kind of CG that dates, isn't it? Because it's like just hasn't got the proper form, hasn't got the contour, the shading, all that kind of stuff. Just wasn't built for that certain time. But
yeah, it's a great story, great movie, and Will Smith's good.
And Will Smith's great. And this, I don't know if you ever watched that. Was it called Last Man Alive? Whatever that comedy TV series. Do you ever remember?
I tried to. I think I watched a couple, but I got lost with it.
Apart from the fact that you would have lost all your family.
Yeah.
How great would that be if you're the only person you can go off into the supermarket, pick up what you want, and just, I mean, okay, you got to make sure that you're in at night time but then you can't fucking go anywhere at night time.
No.
I was going to say it seems like a perfect life, but that's horrible because everyone's dead.
They're dead, yeah.
I don't mean it. Yeah,
I know what you mean.
I don't mean it like that.
No, I know exactly what you mean. And I won't be with you in that because you want to be on your own, but I'm with you in that ideology.
Right. Okay. That's fine. Okay. We're halfway through, so it's time for this.
Pop quiz, hot shot.
Right. So, Neil, here we go. Another quiz. And I'm going to give you the tagline from the poster.
Okay.
From a vampire movie. You need to tell me what it is. Are you ready? Here we go then. Number 1. Drink from me and live forever.
Oh. That's not Coppola's Bram Stoker's Dracula, is it?
Are you telling me or asking?
Yeah, I'll go with that.
Way wrong answer.
No, it was Interview with a Vampire.
Oh, okay.
Number 2, the power of an immortal, the soul of a human, The
Blade.
heart of a hero. What was your answer?
Blade.
All right, all right, all right.
Well done.
Yeah.
Neil's on the board. Number 3. There are some very good reasons to be afraid of the dark.
Was that 30 Days of Night?
Way wrong answer.
Ah, bollocks.
No, it was Fright Night.
Okay.
Number 4. In 2019, the most precious natural resource is us.
2019.
Ooh. In 2019, the most precious natural resource is us.
Near Dark?
Way wrong answer.
No, it was Daybreakers.
Okay. And I quite like that film as well.
Number 5. Some interviews with some vampires.
Is that the quote? Is it some interviews with some what we
Vanta.
do in the shadows?
All right, all right, all right.
Well done. Number 6. Love never dies.
Dead and Loving it, isn't it? No, that's Bram Stoker's Dracula. I just seen the poster
All right, all right.
because they did a
all right.
parody of it on the Dead and Loving it, didn't they?
I think so. Well done. That is Bram Stoker's Dracula. Number 7. One night is all that stands between them and freedom. It's going to be one hell of a night.
From Dusk Till Dawn.
All right, all right, all
Well
right.
done. Number 8. Sleep all day, party all night, never grow old, never die. It's fun to be a vampire.
Lost Boys.
All right, all right, all
Well
right.
done. Number 9. Nothing human loves forever.
Oh, I don't really know what that one is. Twilight. One of them.
Way wrong answer.
No, The Hunger.
Oh, okay.
And
David,
finally, number 10.
David Bowie? No.
Yeah, it was David
Yeah, it was,
Bowie.
wasn't it?
Yes. Number 10. When you can live forever, what do you live for?
Don't know. I'll say vampire.
Way wrong answer.
No, that was Twilight. That was.
Okay.
That was. But well done, Neil. 5 out of 10. 50%.
Ah, thank you. 50%.
That's
Always
not
happy
bad. I
with
think
that.
that's probably the best quiz one you've done because you've.
Yeah.
But that was good. Well done.
Yeah,
Neil.
thank you very much.
Well done. Okay, give us your number 5 as well.
So it's Blade. We mentioned him in that. It's
That's
the
my
original
number
Blade.
2. That's my number 2.
I will say, I'm going to controversially say the first Blade is the best Blade movie. Now.
I completely agree. Completely agree.
I
Especially
used to
that
think
opening
it was
scene.
the second, but with Tracy Lords in that, so iconically cool.
Yeah, the fact you've got the if I remember, it's white, isn't it? The white
Yeah.
walls in that disco, and then the
Well, so
red
you
of
get the walk
blood.
through the street, and she takes him through, and they go in, they follow in, they go through that door, and they're in. There's proper rave music,
Yeah.
and you think yes, and then the showers start,
Yeah,
and you think I wasn't
It's just
expecting that.
the contrast of the white and the red.
Yeah.
and that. Oh dear.
Yeah, Stephen Norrington was going to be such a great director, and I think League of Gentlemen fucked him right over, didn't it?
It did. It did.
Yeah,
which,
but
in
great
theory-
movie, and
Yeah.
such a great cast. Stephen Dorff, it was a great little villain in that.
Yeah.
And there's some really good moments. That the UV torch on Mr. Blobby. Yeah, yeah, it's such a good movie, and it's so. I used to think the second one was the better one, and I really do like it, but because the CGI is so bad in it now, it actually detracts from the film. Somebody needs to get hold of that and change that CGI, and it'd be perfect. But yeah, the first one, the introduction, and who doesn't love Whistler?
Yeah. Chris Christopherson
Yeah,
and Wesley Snipes was
Yeah,
great,
he's
and it
great,
was great.
isn't
It was great. Have you watched Deadpool and Wolverine?
I have, and
yet?
it was great to see him.
Great
come
to
back.
see him
Yeah,
back. There's only ever one Blade.
that's right. I didn't like Blade, the third one, Trinity.
No,
I
it
thought
was
that
a bit
dreadful.
too messy. Yeah, a bit
That
too
was
messy.
dreadful. But yeah, the original Blade is a fantastic movie.
Yeah,
just
and
all
it's
along.
mad to think that they seem to be struggling so much on like doing the Marvel version of it.
I know.
It's just weird that it was like 2 or 3 years that Mahershala Ali was announced and came out on Comic Con as Blade, and it's just
Nothing.
weird that nobody.
Do you think they've never managed to get the script as good as that first movie?
Possibly, or the fact they can't fit it in that character into the MCU? Maybe I don't know.
But just go alone, make an adult, do a series of it. Go your Marvel TV series, go grown up in it.
Yeah.
Make it adult and go for it. Just have fun.
Yeah.
That's all it needs. It doesn't need. Not everything has to go into this pissing universe all the time.
Well, that seeing that.
I was going to say, seeing that announcement for the lineup of the whole new Avengers, fantastic and exciting. But holy shit, are we just putting everybody in there? Are we?
Yeah, that's not even all of them, though, Neil.
No, I know, but it's like, how are we? It's just going to be too much.
Yeah, but the thing is, what you got to remember is that these next two Marvel Avengers movies is going to get rid of the multiverse.
Yeah, well, that's
so once that finishes, it'll probably be just down to one universe, and then they can reboot everything and start again.
Good. Yeah, because they've got themselves lost, haven't they?
Yeah, they definitely have.
Well, no, I'm up for that. You know, because there was all these talks. Because I really enjoyed that Shang-Li. I thought that was a great film, and there was always going to be a sequel. Nothing came. Could always do with another Doctor Strange sequel.
Well, let's wait and see. It's the whole RDJ as Doctor Doom. That's what it's all going to be balancing on. Isn't
we all know it's all about the multiverse, and it's going to be Tony Stark, but a different version of Tony Stark. Because now there's rumors that he's coming back as Iron Man, and
well, they'll throw everything at it, won't they? I'm sure Tom Cruise will turn up as Iron Man as well, just in a cameo, because you're going to have. When it goes to Battle World, which is what I think the Secret Wars is going to be, the second part of the Avengers movies, it's Spider-Man versus Spider-Man and Iron Man versus Iron Man, and all the different ones fighting against each other. So, yeah, if you think this one's going to have a lot of people in it, wait until Secret Wars.
I hope they. I mean, as much as the fans are going to love it, I hope they don't go flying into doing another 3-hour. It's going to have to be really good to be a 3-hour movie. No.
But look, weren't we saying the same thing before Infinity War and Endgame? Yeah. I can remember people saying the same thing before the first Avengers. They were saying, how the hell are they going to fit all these characters, all of these 5 or 6 characters in the same movie? And every Avengers movie, okay, Age of Ultron was maybe not quite up to scale, but every other Avengers movie has been fucking top notch.
Yeah, I think, because watching them back again, I still think Infinity War is better than Endgame.
Apart from that not the last scene, the Avengers Assemble scene is one of the greatest scenes that's ever been assembled in movie history. Yeah. And it's going to be hard to see how they top that in these movies.
But I would have been as excited if the last whatever phase has just passed us to reach this. I don't know where we're at now because I lost track. I would have been more excited if the consistency and the strength of the movies had been as strong as they had been leading up to the original Avengers. That's the only reason I'm like. But I'm more excited now the Russo brothers are back on board.
Yeah.
So that's made me a bit more excited. Yeah. Because I enjoyed that Electric State. Have you watched that?
I haven't, no.
Okay, it's
my
that
wife
Millie
watched
Bobby
it and
Brown.
wasn't that impressed with it.
Yeah, and loads of people have told me, oh, it's shit. And I said, I turned around to somebody and they went to me, it's shit. And I said, no, it isn't. It really isn't. Watch it as you would watch a movie with a 12-year-old kid of yourself in your eyes and tell me you wouldn't have think that was the greatest movie you'd just watched if you were 12.
Okay.
You're looking at it as an adult. You're not looking at it as an adventure, all-out adventure movie that you would have enjoyed as a youngster. You need to change how you're viewing this. We can all rip these sort of kids movies apart because they're not designed for you.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right.
But I really enjoyed it. There you go. I'll go out on a limb and say I thought it was fun. And that was the Russo brothers. So.
Well, that should be on the poster then. Neil says, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Okay, so that's your number 5.
Yep.
My number 5, The Lost Boys. Oh, have you not got it in your top 10?
I've not got it in my list.
Wow.
I'm going to be controversial. We'll talk about it. I've always really enjoyed it. but I actually don't think it's a great movie.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
It's definitely a movie of the 80s.
Yeah.
Put it that way. Because the music's so. I mean, I
Cracking
love the music in
soundtrack.
it.
Yeah.
But it's an 80s soundtrack. It's
Yeah.
an 80s movie, and you've got the two choruses in it, which you get about as 80s as you can get.
Yeah.
You know,
everything is just, if looking back on it, there's nothing. If you think about the story, it's a story that's been used in different ways a million other times, and especially from the 80s.
Yeah.
And I think it's very much of the 80s.
Yeah.
I don't get me wrong, I don't dislike it, and I'm not knocking it. It just, I think the ones that I've got in my list are a lot stronger. That's all.
You can't get any more 80s than the long-haired, shirtless
Saxophone
muscle
player.
man with the saxophone, because he was Mr. 80s. I think he was in Mad Max Beyond the Thunderdome.
He was, yeah.
He was definitely in that. He was part of Tina Turner's band, I think, if I remember correctly.
Was he really?
I think so.
And it's Keith Solond is great in it. I mean, he is, but some of the others, there's what's his name from Bill and Ted,
Alex Winter.
Yeah, and but I don't know. It's all right. It's entertaining. It's a
Diane
Goonies
Weiss.
with vampires. There you go.
It is the Goonies with vampires,
But not as good as Goonies.
Well, see, I don't think the Goonies is actually a fantastic movie.
Did you not? I really enjoyed that. But I think that's just nostalgia for me, because I went to the cinema to see it.
There you go.
And seeing it now, they've taken out all the best bits anyway. You know, the bits. You leave the statue like that, you'll be pissing in his face. They've taken all that out.
Of course they are. You don't get things like that. You're not allowed to have most things anymore, Neil. Remember that?
Just not allowed to have fun anymore, are you?
No, we're not. No, we're not. So that's my number 5. Your number 4 was Let the Right One In.
It was.
So my number 4 is Bram Stoker's Dracula.
It's my number 2.
That's wow.
Yeah.
I thought that was going to be your number 1. I must admit. Okay.
Yeah, I think this is one of Coppola's finest moments. I know the story is not Bram Stoker's Dracula, before anyone goes me.
Yeah,
and I know Keanu Reeves is
I
know where the bastard sleeps and all of that. But take the visuals, take Gary Oldman, who's just pure jizz in your pants, great in that.
Just for Gary Oldman, it's my number
and
2.
Anthony Hopkins.
And Anthony Hopkins.
What a great Van Helsing.
Yeah.
Do you know, I went to the cinema to see that in 1992. I remember went with Terry, our friend. We watched it, and we went back the next week. Not to see it. We used to go every week to the cinema Tuesday nights. There was nothing on, and I said, "Can we watch that again?" And he was like, "Oh, all right." I freaking loved it. I think I saw it 4 times at the cinema in the end.
Yeah.
I still think it's visually stunning.
It is Coppola at his best, at his absolute best.
And how creepy is Oldman as the old Dracula?
Yeah. And it isn't particularly. I mean, I say it isn't particularly bloody. You've got that scene when it's like when it's got the flashback of the original Dracula, and the whole place is just covered in blood.
Yeah,
but it isn't what I call a particularly gory movie.
There's a couple of beheadings, isn't there?
But, I mean, compared to say other like Dracula movies or any other vampire movies, but it's
very sexualized though, isn't it?
Very.
But then I think Dracula, by association, is very sexualized.
That's what vampires are.
Yeah,
isn't it? That's what I think. There's always a cleavage or two around in a vampire movie.
Because is it still an 18? I know they reclassified everything, but
I don't know.
It was always an 18, wasn't it? Because it was full of nudity, which is always a fine thing. Do you remember? I'll tell you what is quite creepy in that movie. The Sadie Frost bit, Lucy, when is it Lucy? Mina's friend.
Yeah.
Obviously, the bit where I don't want to spoil it if anybody's not seen it. Well, it's fucking 30 years old. Come on.
Years old, Neil.
So the bit when she's been bitten, she's been ill. They have all the suitors that are with her, all the people that are from the book, Richard E. Grant and all of those, coming to see her. They're all trying to get her, and she's ill. And finally, she passes away, but she comes back, and they go into the grave to get rid of her. And that's really good, that scene. Won't ever be as creepy as the Laurence Olivier with Frank Langella. Do you ever see that one?
I can remember that one. That was one of the ones
where they go down underground into the proper grave. It wasn't I
can't remember that bit.
Oh dear! And she comes. One of the creepiest things I always remember. Whether it's because it was a kid, but it still creeps me out now. But anyway, I was going to say that was all very sexualized, but also very creepy.
Yeah,
that whole bit.
Yeah.
Here she comes, and she's carrying the baby. Oh.
Yeah, yeah.
Joy.
Um,
And
like
that
I say,
again is great gothic. They managed to
Surprised
keep
that
the
it isn't
gothic.
your number one, I must admit.
You'll understand it. It
Okay.
probably flicked either way.
Okay. So that was my number 4. Your number 3 was Interview with a Vampire. My
Yep.
number 3 was What We Do in the Shadows. Your number 2, Bram Stoker's Dracula. My number 2 was Blade. So before we reveal our number ones, then Neil, give us a countdown of your 10 to 2.
So at number 10, we got Nosferatu. I will say the 1922 version.
Blah, blah.
Number 9, Dracula.
Blah,
Bela
blah.
Lugosia. Bela Lugosia.
Bela Lugosia.
Number 8, 30 Days of Night.
Blah, blah.
Number 7, Fright Night, the
Blah,
original. Number 6, What We Do in the Shadows.
Blah, blah.
Number 5, Blade.
Blah.
Number 4, Let the Right One In.
Blah, 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 blah,
Number
blah.
3, Interview with a Vampire.
Blah, 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 blah.
Number 2, Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Right,
No,
you got to
no.
do it for me now, okay? Number 10 was, I'm reading your
Yeah,
top
don't
10.
do that.
That's not good. Number 10 was, of course, Dracula Dead and Loving It.
Blah, blah.
Number 9, Van Helsing.
Blah, blah.
Number 8, Interview with a Vampire.
Blah, blah.
Number 7, Let the Right One In.
Blah, blah.
Number 6, I Am Legend.
Blah, blah.
Number 5, The Lost Blurs.
Blah, 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 blah.
Number 4, Blur, Stroker's Dracula. Strokers?
Strokers. Oh, I want to watch that one. Is that
Bram
on?
Stoker's
Is that
Dracula.
Is that on Pornhub?
It probably is. Yeah, we will be soon. Number 3, What We Do in the Shadows.
Blah.
And number 2, Blurred.
Blah, 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 blah.
So go on then, Neil. What is your number 1 vampire movie?
What would you guess what it would be?
Well, I'm wondering whether it's the same as mine.
From Dusk Till Dawn.
From Dusk Till Dawn.
Yeah, how can that not be?
How can it not be?
Yeah, can you? I remember again. It's another film I watched about 3 or 4 times at the cinema. Did you? What film did you go into not really knowing what the fuck it is? Apart from you knew it was written by Quentin Tarantino. It's directed by Robert Rodriguez. We've always had a blast with both of them. George Clooney, I don't think has ever been as good as he is in this role.
Agree.
Tarantino actually proves that he's a pretty decent actor in this one because some of his performances have been ropier.
Yeah.
And then you're watching what is essentially a kidnap movie and an escape heist movie. And then in the second half, it becomes this batshit crazy vampire film.
Yeah.
What is not to love? Salma Hayek, that beautiful dance.
Oh.
I wish I was that
Salma
snake.
Hayek.
Who doesn't wish that I was that snake? You've got some great cameos again in there. What's his name? The makeup artist. Funny as
Tom Savino, isn't it?
Tom Savini.
Tom Savini.
That's right. And his
Fred
Top
Williamson.
Gun.
His
Fred
Top
Williamson.
Gun. Yeah, that's right. Well, he's Sex Machine, isn't he?
He is. And then you got Fred Williamson, Harvey Keitel,
Harvey Keitel,
who
Michael
is fantastic.
Parks,
And what a way he's got that gun with the cross.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Danny Trejo, Cheech Marin.
I know.
It's just so good.
So many pussy. If you've never seen that clip with me, but great script, obviously well written. We all know why.
Yeah.
The direction, I don't think Robert Rodriguez is one of his finest directed movies.
I would say it is his finest, without a doubt.
Okay, yeah, I'll agree with that then. Yeah, I will. I still think Robert Rodriguez has got an Oscar-winning film in him, but we'll get back to that.
Well, that's fine as long as he stops making fucking Spy Kids movies, because they are fucking crap.
Aren't they just?
Oh
But
my
they're not.
God.
They're not for us though. My
I
kids
know
used to
they're
love
not.
them when they were
I know
younger.
they're not, but even just the way they look. I know they're supposed to be like this fucking, all in a green screen and that, but they look fucking awful.
Yeah,
And you know that he can direct good.
Yeah, well, Sin City, I know that
Visual
was green screen, but I think that's a great movie. But I really think Robert Rodriguez is a great filmmaker that's got himself lost a little bit, got too much easy money, if that makes sense.
Or maybe too much control, because he does everything, doesn't he?
Yeah, and also he really does. Do you remember that Shark Boy and Lava Girl or whatever he did? It's another one. It was dreadful. But the studios are chucking money at him because it makes them money, and
yes.
He's making films for his kids, like he admitted. And I suppose we could all say we'd probably do something like that if our kids.
And if you've
were
made
involved.
enough money that you can live comfortably, and you're making, like you say, you're making the people that need the money, you're making them money.
Yeah,
It's a bit like Kevin Smith, isn't it?
Yeah.
Then they they can make the movies they want to make without people saying, because once they start making millions and millions and millions, and then a studio gives them $100 million to make, they're in the studio's pocket, and the studio tells you what you've got to make.
Exactly.
Whereas someone like him, Tarantino, all the Tarantino's movies do make money. Or
I mean, he's
Kevin
a different
Smith.
kettle of fish, isn't he, Tarantino?
But Kevin Smith, they make enough so that certain people make a little bit of money and will get enough to give them a bit more money when they want to make another movie.
Yeah.
And that must be a lovely situation.
Absolutely. What a situation to be in. But Tarantino needs to write a script for Rodriguez again, and they need to get together.
Yeah.
I really do, because I think Desperado is such a great movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, the whole El Mariachi. I know the first one's very low budget, but it's still so much fun, and you could see the vision. Didn't he do The Faculty? Didn't he? That was fun. We talked about Josh Hartnett. Yeah, I think he's a great director, but he's got lost somewhere along the line. But From Dusk Till Dawn, again, I tried to watch some of the TV series. It just wasn't the same, so I never bothered. And the sequels were just trying to copy the original. It's just watch the original and then find the documentary Full Tilt Boogie.
I was just about to say.
And so enjoy yourself. It's one of the best making of documentaries you'll ever see.
Yeah. And then thank us later is all.
Yeah, absolutely. Bring it on.
Indeed. Well, we've got some honourable mentions. At MPG_1980 said The Lost Boys, Near Dark, What We Do in the Shadows, Blade, Interview with a Vampire, From Dusk Till Dawn, Fright Night, and one I watched recently and really enjoyed, Abigail.
Okay, I haven't watched that. That's on Sky Movies. It's got great reviews. A couple of my film critics that I really enjoy have said it's great. But that's the one that I didn't put in, Near Dark. I remember it being really good, but I need to watch it again. It's quite hard to find. So.
Okay. Doug Simpson. The Little Vampire was a favourite growing up, but can't take it seriously now. Top 3 in mine would be Bram Stoker's Dracula, and then both Nosferatu of 1922 and 2024. At One Waheen, that's lovely Lisa, said, for sure, The Lost Boys, An Interview with a Vampire. Loved the recent Nosferatu with Willem Dafoe and Nicholas Hoult. Humble brag, he ate at my restaurant recently. And What We Do in the Shadows, Bram Stoker's Dracula with Keanu Reeves, Anthony Hopkins and Gary Oldman is probably my favourite of all. Love you, Neil and Pav.
We love you
Lisa.
Too.
At Real Talk on Blue Sky, does Monster Squad count as a vampire movie?
Yeah, of course it does. It's got a vampire in it.
There you go then. And at Dr. Tet on Blue Sky said the original Let the Right One In is fantastic, as we have discussed.
Yeah.
And Who Takes the Socks Off Pod says, after our discussion, I better not hear any mention of Twilight, my friend. Well, that's the only time we've mentioned it. So
I couldn't answer about Twilight. I've seen the first 3, I think. I've not seen how it finishes. I've never enjoyed one of the Twilight movies. I appreciate it's not for me. It's not my...
I don't think I've seen 3 minutes of Twilight. My kids were like mad into Team Gerald and Team...
Whatever it was. Edward was one of them, wasn't it?
Edward and Jacob, I think it was.
Edward and Gerald, I prefer.
Yeah, Edward and Gerald. So Who Takes the Socks Off Pod? Thank you for bringing up Twilight, because we hadn't mentioned it nearly all the episodes. So thank you for that. That's it, Neil. We've done it.
Oh, that was a pleasure.
We've done it. So I can now go off and have a pint of blood. And
could I suck your blood now and become this vampire?
Well, I mean, if I was a virgin, then you could. So you can, if you want, Neil.
You're a virgin.
For anybody that wasn't born like in the 70s, so it was known from the 80s that was the young ones. People are just thinking you're being really rude to me.
Yeah,
you're actually just taking off the young ones.
They need to go and investigate. That's what I'll say.
Yes, they do. And I think one of those episodes, didn't that have Alexis Sale was a vampire?
He was. I've got the cushion. Have you got a steak?
That's right. It all comes around to the young ones in the end. Yeah. Neil, it's always a pleasure. Thank you so much. Remember to listen for Neil's dulcet tones at the end of the episode to give you all the information that you need, which will be in the show notes as well if you want to come and join our Patreon, if you want to buy us a cup of coffee, all of that stuff, where you can find us on social media. Neil will regale us with those details forthwith.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much, Pav, and thank you very much for all your support, everyone.
Thank you again, Neil. It's wonderful to talk to you as always. We'll see you again soon. And thank you very much,
Absolutely.
everybody, for watching and listening. Let's go and drink some blood.